I remember when I was applying for college because I wanted to go to school for fashion design. I think was it IADT? I guess they were like recruiters. They would look at your portfolio, which at the time, I don't even think that this school actually looked at my portfolio. They just asked me a bunch of questions when I first got there. And I'll never forget, before we even made it to the school, me and my mom got into a huge argument at the hospital because she had a doctor's appointment earlier that day. My mom was saying that she didn't know if we would have time for me to make it to my appointment to go tour this fashion design school. And I really don't think that she wanted me to go to this fashion design school in the first place. And I remember that when we got there, the guy who's like the recruiter or something like that, he's asked my mom a few questions. But then when he got to me and I started to actually speak, he's like, "Oh, wow, you sound like a little bird." It's been over a decade, even more than that, probably over 15 to 20 years ago when he said that to me. I can still remember it. And that has been my life experience pretty much. Like, people have made fun of my voice since I could remember. And as I got older, I started to think, like, you need to come up with some comebacks at them. Like, why do you sound like that? I don't know, because God made me this way. And I know y'all are probably like, what the heck does this have to do with your brand voice? But the story is relevant to my brand voice because really, all my life, I have felt like my voice didn't matter or like my voice was too weird or just not good enough. I felt like I needed to hide myself and hide my voice because I felt like people didn't like it. I even remember when I met my boyfriend, we met on Facebook, by the way, but he was just a casual person that I spoke to like on Facebook at the time. And I saw him outside and I'm like, oh, he became a real human being. He wasn't just like on social media anymore. And I'm like, maybe I will tell him that I saw him today. And I did. And then he's like, call me, please. I want to talk to you. I was like, yeah, okay, what's your number again? And he's like, aha, you did throw away my number. And it wasn't that I threw it away. I genuinely was so afraid to talk and to share my voice with anybody that I felt like I couldn't even talk to him. And here we are 17 years later, actually this month on the 24th, January 24th of 2026 is our 17-year anniversary, or was our 17-year anniversary. I felt like my voice didn't deserve to be heard, or like people, if they heard my voice, I felt like they were going to judge me or be like, why you sound like that? Like, I've been getting that my entire life. So when it came to like building a brand and showing myself online, like, this was not a thing. I did everything I could possibly do to avoid talking on camera or talking on YouTube. I would have never have imagined in a million years that I would be here today, almost 3 years later, on YouTube making videos. I did everything I could to possibly avoid doing YouTube. And so I started off with a blog. I had a blog called A Unique Voice, but that didn't go anywhere. Like, I probably posted like 2 blog posts on there and 2 people might have read it. And then I didn't do anything with it after that. In 2023, when I started my business and I tried to get a little bit more serious about it, I went straight to Instagram because I felt like Instagram was going to be easier for me. I can just create carousel posts, I can take pictures, and I wouldn't have to talk so much. And so I started with Instagram, and I just did not like Instagram. I hated Instagram, to be honest with you. Like, I don't like short form content is what I found out. And really doing long form content was what suited me best. I just felt like if I didn't say the right things, that people weren't going to like it, that people weren't going to subscribe, that they were going to be mad at me because I suffer from people pleasing. I really felt like people were going to be like, what the heck is this? What are you even talking about? What are you rambling about? And so I just refused to share my voice online. And really, even in person, again, I was a people pleaser. I didn't want to talk to anybody. All of these doubts and fears that I had around sharing my voice and talking to the camera, talking online, talking in person, it just consumed me. It consumed my whole day. The anxiety that I had and the fears that I had around just talking to people and talking on camera, I felt like I couldn't get anywhere. And I know that I sound like a broken record at this point, but I think personal branding is the biggest thing that truly actually helped me out here, because it wasn't just learning about like fonts and colors and stuff like that. It was learning who I was, learning more about me, myself, and I. That's what actually did it. That's what helped me to understand who I was, who I wanted to be, the skills that I had, the expertise that I had, the knowledge that I know right here and right now. It was about learning the things that I wanted to share, the things that I wanted to talk about, the things that I was good at, that I could actually share my unique perspective, my unique voice. It's kind of a nod to my blog that I just mentioned, a unique voice. But yeah, sharing my unique voice with other people. Like, that's what I had to learn in order to be able to do any of this. I was just looking at what everybody else was saying online, and they would say to talk about this, post it like this, share it like this, or talk about this. I would try to do that, but it just wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for my personality because, again, I'm an introvert. So me going outside and filming this and talking like that, it wasn't going to work. And so I had to really understand who I was from the inside out to be able to finally do this, because I didn't know that it was okay to be myself, to have my own thoughts, to have my own perspective, and to be able to showcase that. Because for so long, people were telling me that my personality or my voice wasn't okay. I was just a quiet kid. I was just a quiet person, and people didn't want to hear what I had to say. Now, once I learned about branding and personal branding specifically, I feel like that's what finally gave me the permission that I needed to share my unique voice with other people. I genuinely realized, like, I don't want to sound like everybody else. So why am I trying to do that when I don't have to? In 2023, when I first started my business, I wanted to be a coach, like literally coaching people about branding, but I changed that now, which brings me to what I genuinely did to truly come up with my brand voice here. So I basically created a T chart. You put the line across and then you put the line down the middle. I created a T chart. On one side of the T chart, it says, sound like this, don't sound like this. On the sound like this column, I knew I wanted to sound real, relaxed, genuine, relatable, and inspiring. I chose real because I knew that I wanted to sound down to earth. And it took me a while to get here, again, because I am a recovering people pleaser. It takes me a minute to just feel comfortable enough to talk. So me just accepting that I am human and natural, and that I could be more conversational in my approach, even though you do get your customer service voice on when you get on camera. I'm not even gonna lie. And so naturally, somewhere in there, your voice, your natural voice is going to slip out at some point, like you grow into it. I knew that I wanted to also sound just chill, very relaxed. I think it even is more than just the tone of voice. I want to be able to say the words without feeling like I have to censor myself. I say filter, but not censor. There is a difference. In my last video, I think I said half-assed, and I was like, should I edit that out? I'm like, there's nothing wrong with saying half-assed. I can say half-assed if I want to say it. And so I'm like, stop censoring yourself. Genuine is actually one of my brand values. Like, being genuine in your approach is like one of the biggest things to me. Genuine is not just the way that I want to show up online. When I'm talking, I want to sound like me, because I truly believe when you're being genuine in your approach, like, people can feel your energy. I always say people can feel your energy, and energy is everything. So that's why I put genuine, is because I genuinely want to show up as me. I'm learning to take down the shield, stop masking who I genuinely am. It's taking some baby steps to get there, but I feel like I'm opening up even more and allowing myself to be more genuine. I told myself this time around that I want to be more relatable. I want to connect more with people. So I thought that I would put that I wanted to sound more relatable in my content, and just sharing more of my story, sharing more of who I am, and sharing it how it happened, not filtering it out. Again, not censoring myself. But yeah, being more relatable, being more down to earth. I was doing so many things off camera and behind the scenes. So now I'm like, do the things that you do, no matter how they turn out, the things that I'm saying can really be an inspiration to somebody else who's also along the same journey. So being inspiring is one of the ways that I want to sound like when I show up online. I was struggling a little bit when it came to how I don't want to sound, but I really just thought of the opposite of the ways that I do want to sound like. I know that I wanted to be real instead of sounding corporate. I am a solo entrepreneur. I don't want to sound all like stuffy or anything like that. That's not me at all. Of course, we all make mistakes. I'm not saying that everybody will be perfect, but I just know that I want to do my best to not come off as condescending. And hopefully I don't, but that is my goal, to just be chill. This is the opposite of being genuine to me, is being untrustworthy. I just feel like if you're not genuine in your approach, then it just comes across a little untrustworthy. What are you up to? Kind of like side eye kind of thing. And another one I don't want to sound like is inauthentic. It takes a while to feel authentically yourself online. Like, you get your customer service voice on, as soon as you turn on the camera, like it's natural and it happens. So in those moments, I would just take a breath, take a pause, and really just ask myself, is this how you would really say it? Is this how you would even write things out or say this even online or even on your website? And I'm like, no, that's not how I would say it. That's not how I would sound. So I would go back and just say it in the way that I would say it. I want to show up authentically as myself. So inauthentic is something that I don't want to sound like. Now, this one was kind of hard. I was like, could I put unrealistic for this last one? I don't want to sound unrealistic in my journey. So when I'm writing anything, when I'm typing out anything on my website, on my social media, or I'm talking about anything here on my YouTube channel, I don't want to come across as unrealistic to my community. Like, especially if I have like a product or a service or something that I'm selling, I don't want to come across as unrealistic. I'm saying that I made all this money or I achieved all of these things and I actually didn't. I don't want to come across in that way. And so that's why I chose unrealistic. And another way I figured out my brand voice was just to write out ways that I naturally say things. Think about the ways that I naturally talk to people, the things that I naturally say to people. I even had to accept the fact that I give people pet names. I think I might get it from my mom. She always gives everybody a pet name. So your name is not your name when you're around her. She has given me so many names since I've been born. Like, oh my goodness, so many names. And I realized that I was, again, censoring myself to not give people pet names. I kind of went back and forth on this. My boyfriend will tell you, he has been all different types of names. I don't call him by his name, never have. But I was going back and forth on, do I actually do this with my audience? But this is the way that I speak. This is how I naturally am. I give people pet names. Of course, I want to make sure the name that I say or things that I say is appropriate or people respond well to it. But that is me. That is my personality, to just give people pet names and things like that. Or I used to not use certain emojis when I would talk to people. So I'm like, maybe it doesn't look super professional to use emojis or whatever, but I'm like, why not? Because this is the way that I talk. I will type something out and then put 3 or 4 other emojis behind it. And I do have certain emojis that I don't use. The red or pink heart, I don't use those. I use the white heart, the brown, or the black heart. And that's another way of finding your voice. How do you sound? How do you show up online and things like that? So even down to the emojis that I choose are important. I use, is it called a GIF, whatever it's called. I use memes and stuff like that. So I'm allowing myself to do that and to use that because this is the way that my brand voice sounds and how I come across. It has a little bit of fun, a little bit of playfulness in there. And so I knew that that's the way that I want to come across when people see me online, or they come across my brand, or they read a post from me, they come across my website. If I'm just talking to somebody in the DMs or something like that, the emojis and all of that stuff is fine. I do it all the time. But the more that I do this, the more that I can just let go. I can just have fun with it. I can have fun with my brand and business. I can sound like myself. I don't actually have anybody working with me now, but if I ever did, I could show them all of this and show them my little T-chart here to say, sound like this, don't sound like this. And then they would know what the brand and business sounds like. So if I ever needed anybody to write an email for me or to make a post for me or anything like that, they're going to know what my brand and my business sounds like so they can easily write it for me, and the brand and business just sounds cohesive from one platform to the other platform. So every so often I will also go back and do an audit on my social media, my website, or anything like that, especially my social media here on my YouTube channel, and I will watch my videos back. And I will just ask myself, is this actually you? Is this how you want it to sound? Is this how you want it to, is this how you want it to feel and how you want it to sound when somebody lands on your video? Is this how you want it to look or to feel? And then I could watch that video. This isn't how I sound. If I'm not really feeling it, this is not what I want to sound like. I'm not being genuine in my approach here. I wasn't showing enough of me and my personality and things like that. So that really led me to go back in, and I won't say totally change my content pillars, but just niche them down even more. Still pretty much the same category topic, but just get even more specific. So one of my brand pillars was business and brand strategy, and now it's setting up my brand and business to thrive. So how do I actually do that? Still business and brand strategy, but even more specific. I'm doing more walkthroughs and showing my Trello or something like that. Or my previous video I did was on market research or how I found my target audience or something like that. And so really going back and auditing my channel to really understand what I want to sound like and things that I want to actually talk about and how I want to actually get those things out into the world, understanding what my voice is, my tone of voice, how I want to show up online. That really helps me to really nail my content and do it in a way that really feels good to me, that feels natural to me, that feels authentic to me and to the other people that are actually watching my content. They can see it too. I always say, people can feel your energy, and energy is everything. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.